Alright guys, welcome to Football Dynasties. I am your host Dell. Tonight's episode we will be talking about the top 5 fantasy rookie QBs heading into next season. These rankings I have based on where I think they're going to be drafted. Obviously we have the NFL draft next Thursday and that's going to change a lot of the rankings for sure. But for now, this is kind of where we're at. Just kind of having fun looking at where the next QBs are going to end up. And just based on where I think they're going to end up, this is what my list is. And you're going to agree, you're going to disagree, but that's okay. After next Thursday, I'm pretty sure this list will be changing. But let's just get right into it. Number 5, we've got Drake May. I got Drake May going to the New England Patriots. So I actually think that the Patriots, with their first 2 picks, will be drafting QB, obviously with Drake May. And I still think they're going to be taking a receiver in that second round. So he'll have someone in there that can kind of help him. But I still think that Drake May will be number 5 in rookie fantasy QBs. He is the least experienced quarterback that's in this top 5. Only has like 2 full seasons at North Carolina. He has a lot of that little Mitchell Trubisky things, and Bear fans know that Mitchell Trubisky did not work out. Not sure if Drake May will. But I think he will be starting. So for fantasy points-wise, I still think he'll be one of the top 5s going into next season. But yeah, that's where I sit with Drake May. I think he'll be the 5th-ranked rookie quarterback at the end of the season if he goes to New England. Let's dive right into number 4. At number 4, I've got Michael Penix going to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, ideally for Mike Penix, that would be the ideal spot, obviously. You're going to have Devontae Adams sitting there. He's got Mayer at tight end. Lefty. The kid's got an arm. Devontae's going to love him. And I think he would just thrive as a Raider. Not a big Raider fan myself, being a Chargers fan. But either way, you got to hand it to him. He's got that big arm. Raiders are on the up. The Antonio Pierce hiring seems like the entire locker room wanted it, so I think they'll rally around their new QB that they draft, whether that's Penix or someone else, but I have them right now going to the Raiders, so good luck to them. At number 3, we're going to go with J.J. McCarthy because I think he's going to be a Minnesota Viking. So the Vikings made all those pre-draft moves to pick up an additional first-round pick so that they can move up, I believe. I mean, they got the 11th and the 23rd. They're probably going to move into the top 4, sneak in there, and it's going to cost them a lot. They're going to have to give up the 2 first-rounders this season and probably an additional first-rounder for next year to move into the top 4. But I see them doing that, and I see them taking J.J. McCarthy. You know, over the last couple of weeks, J.J. McCarthy with his pro day, Harbaugh praising him, but I think my man Harbaugh's doing it so that, you know, maybe they trade out of the Cardinals and then my Chargers can get Marvin Harrison at 5, but that's just wishful thinking. Yeah, J.J. with the Vikings, I mean, Jefferson, Osborne, he's got Aaron Jones. He's going to be able to put up some fantasy points. And I know all you JJ guys, if he's on your roster, you're probably going to get up J.J. McCarthy. You're going to go J.J. Jefferson, J.J. McCarthy. I mean, that combination right there is going to help him definitely put up some rookie points for next season. So I got him going to Minnesota, and it'll work well, I think, you know, with Jefferson there. And let's dive into number 2. At number 2, I actually have Caleb Williams. He will be a Chicago Bear. That is the consensus. With Caleb, the only thing for rookie fantasy points is that in college he didn't scramble very much, so he doesn't bring to the table a whole lot of rushing yards. And in fantasy football, we all know that if you have a quarterback that can run, that's going to be extra points. And right now, just from what we've seen Caleb do in college, I don't see him necessarily being that kind of guy. He's got a great arm. Kid's got some of the most talent we've seen coming out of the draft. You know, with Keenan Allen, he's going to have DJ Moore. tight end. What was his name? Cole Kmet. Yeah, with Cole Kmet there at tight end, he's definitely going to put up a lot of offensive numbers, I believe. I mean, he might break the Bears' passing total yards in a season in his first year there, getting over 4,000. So definitely have him ranked high. I think ESPN's got him ranked inside the top, I want to say top 80 for fantasy points for next season. So they're definitely expecting him to have a decent year, but it could be a great year. We all saw CJ Stroud come out, and he ended up being a top 12 QB, I believe, in fantasy. So you never know. Yeah, let's get right into it. Number 1, Jaden Daniels. I see him going to Washington. With the way he runs is really the only reason why I have him ranked number 1. He had over 1,100 rushing yards last year alone, and just based on that, that's where, I see the value for him being the number 1 rookie fantasy quarterback. It's just that he can, get out of the pocket. Hopefully he slides down a little bit more, and then he's not going to be getting hurt at the next level. But just based off of that, I think he will be the number 1 fantasy quarterback. 3,800 passing yards last year in college. 40 passing TDs to only 4 interceptions, so he can protect the ball. Rush yards, 1,100 rushing yards again. So that's the kind of stuff that when you're looking at it and you want it to translate to the next level, even if let's just say he has maybe 3,200 passing yards and he gives you another 1,000 on the ground, that'll be worth the draft pick to hold on there. So that's where I got it. That is my top 5. I'm gonna put up, if you're on YouTube following it, I'll put the rest of my top 10 in there. But that is what we have for the top 5. So let's just kind of recap it real quick. At number 5, Drake May. He's going to be a New England Patriot. At number 4, Michael Penix to the Raiders. At number 3, we'll have J.J. McCarthy going to the Vikings. At number 2, Caleb Williams going to the Bears. And at number 1, Jaden Daniels going to Washington. And again, this is all going to change probably next week once the draft happens and we actually get to see where these guys go. But for the meantime, this is kind of where I see them going. If you agree or disagree, leave me some comments down below. And that's kind of it. I don't know what else we can do with it, just because we don't know where they're going. Once we find out where they're going, though, these lists will all really, really definitely be adjusted to real time. But for now, that's where we got them.